Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're going to completely shatter a massive, incredibly common myth. You know the one? The idea that you absolutely need a giant pile of venture capital or some massive bank loan just to start a life-changing business. Actually, scratch that. We're going to give you the exact blueprint for launching a highly profitable venture with next to nothing in the bank.
So let's kick things off with a pretty provocative question, just to challenge those limiting beliefs about what a successful startup actually looks like. What if the flashiest, tech-heavy companies aren't the ones actually minting new millionaires? What if the most boring-sounding, simplest businesses were quietly making people way more money than their 9-to-5 ever will? No influencers, no flash, just real, solid demand. Yep, $500. We're going to prove to you that highly profitable, totally life-altering ventures can be launched today for under $500. In fact, many of the most scalable ideas you can start right now require literally $0 to get off the ground. It's really all about how you leverage your time, your skills, and the tools that are already sitting right in front of you.
All right, here's our roadmap for today. 1. The zero capital myth. 2. Low-cost service businesses. 3. Digital and scalable ventures. 4. The bootstrapping playbook. And finally, 5. Planning and avoiding pitfalls. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The zero capital myth. It's time to dismantle this illusion once and for all. So look, the crucial point here is this. High-risk, equity-diluting venture capital gets all the flashy headlines in the business media, right? But true wealth is quietly being built by ordinary people using everyday tools. The reality is that venture capital is actually quite rare, and it's highly specific to certain tech sectors. For the vast majority of us, hustle, creativity, and a willingness to just solve simple problems are literally the only capital we need to get started.
Moving right along to Section 2. Low-cost service businesses and generating that foundational physical cash flow. Just think about the incredible margins of physical services for a second. I mean, for a dog walking business, $50 gets you some leashes, a few bags, and some business cards, and top earners are pulling in over $100,000 a year. Or what about a closet organizer? $39 to start, with the potential to make over $9,000 a month. And a mobile notary setup, which takes advantage of the 1 billion notarizations that happen annually in the US, that costs around $110 for certifications and a stamp, and it can generate up to $10,000 a month. You can tap into massive, recurring local demand for the cost of a nice dinner. It's wild.
Take Vanessa Garcia's story, for example. She absolutely proves that simply solving some common everyday chaos can completely transform your financial reality. She was working 3 jobs just to avoid eviction. She started organizing closets as a side hustle, just because people are overwhelmed and their homes are in chaos. Her entire startup cost was about $39, $20 for some business cards and $19 for a basic website. Fast forward, and today, she's making over $9,000 a month. That is the sheer power of a low-capital physical service.
All right, Section 3. Digital and scalable ventures. This is all about scale without a storefront.
When you compare these two side by side, it really helps you see the different flavors of low-capital startups out there. With physical services, sure, you're guaranteeing local cash, and they're relatively easy to start, but you are ultimately trading your physical time and travel for money. Digital services, on the other hand, offer massive, almost infinite scalability. Take AI prompt engineering. Businesses desperately want to use AI right now, but they have no idea how. If you spend the time learning to craft instructions that make AI outputs actually useful, like creating specific prompt libraries for industries, you can charge premium rates for literally $0 down. Your only overhead is a laptop you already own.
I absolutely love this quote from Francisco Rivera. I don't think I'm special. I just work hard. It perfectly captures exactly why you should focus on ultra-specific digital niches. He's started a print-on-demand candle shop on Etsy. Now, print-on-demand means he designs the label and a manufacturer prints and ships it directly to the customer. He never even touches the inventory. But his real secret? He didn't just sell generic candles, he focused on specific niches. That laser focus allowed him to generate nearly $500,000, $462,000 to be exact, in sales, which allowed him to completely quit his day job.
Let's dive into Section 4, the bootstrapping playbook, how to fund and scale safely.
Let's quickly define bootstrapping, because this really is the ultimate strategy for self-funding. When you use your own personal finances or operating revenues to grow, it literally forces disciplined growth upon you.
Because every single dollar is scrutinized, you naturally achieve much better margins. And most importantly, as highlighted by financial experts at JP Morgan, bootstrapping ensures you never dilute your equity. You remain the 100% owner of the company, meaning you own your strategy without any external interference telling you what to do.
But hey, alternatively, if you're in a slightly more capital-intensive space, or maybe you just need a tiny initial push to build a competitive edge quickly, there's this hybrid model called seed strapping. Basically, you raise one single early round of seed funding and then immediately shift your focus entirely to becoming a sustainable, cash flow positive business. This gives you operational flexibility while safeguarding you from the dreaded continuous fundraising treadmill. It protects your long-term ownership while still giving you that jumpstart. Relying on that expert playbook from JP Morgan, these 3 essential steps are going to guide you to reinvest your profits efficiently. Step 1. Prioritize paying customers. Honestly, their feedback is the single most valuable data you have to improve your product. Step 2. Keep operations incredibly lean. Strict budgeting and tight cash flow management is what keeps you alive. And Step 3. Allocate your resources wisely. Instead of hiring an expensive team right out of the gate, leverage free or low-cost AI and open-source tools to handle your administrative and marketing tasks. That is how you preserve your hard-earned cash.
Finally, Section 5. Planning and avoiding pitfalls. Let's talk about protecting your new startup. Okay, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, so this timeline exposes the devastating reality of some of those work-from-home schemes out there, particularly in the dropshipping space. Now, dropshipping can be a legitimate supply chain method, for sure, but scammers frequently prey on beginners. On day 1, you might buy a so-called supplier list from someone on social media, only to realize by day 5 that these aren't wholesalers at all, but middlemen eating all your profit margins. Then, around day 14, a customer receives a poor quality item, or the wrong item entirely, and they return it. And by day 20, guess who takes the financial loss? You do. Because you have limited control over the product quality and shipping, you are incredibly vulnerable if you don't do deep research on your partners.
So, to avoid those traps and actually build something lasting, you absolutely must construct a foundational business plan. Now, don't panic. You don't need a massive 50-page document to start, but you must clearly define 3 basic things. First, what specific problem are you solving, and what is your solution? Second, who exactly is your target market, like down to the specific segment? And third, what is your actionable sales and marketing plan to actually reach them? If you can't answer these 3 points clearly, you honestly aren't ready to start spending even your $500. We're going to conclude this explainer with a final empowering challenge to you. We've just seen that ordinary people are building massive, life-changing wealth organizing closets, walking dogs, and creating digital templates. We've seen the financial playbook to keep your equity and scale safely. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for more free time or a giant bank loan. The tools are literally right in front of you. The capital requirement is effectively 0. So what is holding you back from starting your dream business today?